You are now listening to the Platinum Achievement Podcast, bringing gamers together from around the world. A PixelPine.com production. Here are your hosts. Stay a while and listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Platinum Achievement Podcast. And I wasn't on the last week's episode. How'd you introduce the podcast on the last week's episode? I don't listen to it when I'm not on it.
Oh, hi, Chris. Nice to meet you.
You've got podcast.
There we go. Yeah, let's do that.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's
Done.
about right. Yeah.
I wasn't on last week's episode. Yeah, I don't know.
This is episode 49. We're almost to the big 5-0.
Wow. We've been existing for a long time
About
now.
time to take us out to pasture and shoot us.
Damn. Well, yeah. Today we got Chris, we got Matt, we got no one else. No special guest. That's sad. Last time I was on the show, we had a special guest. No one's special now.
Except Chris, because we have to tell him he is, otherwise he gets angry.
All right. Yeah, so let's start with Chris. Tell us how special you are. What are you doing? What games are you playing? How's life?
I know the answer to one of those questions.
I've been playing one of the most boring game ever to exist on this planet.
Okay. Wow.
Really? You think Nioh's boring?
You know I'm not talking about Nioh. You know damn well I'm not talking about
Yeah, because I've, when we talked about this on our 4 for February, I wanted you to go in and look at it seriously, but I should have fucking known better. You're just gonna be like, oh, they're just talking and feels, and I don't like touching people, and I don't like emotions. Everybody's gone to the Raptors bullshit.
Goddamn emotions.
It's goddamn lights. It's goddamn lights. People talking about, oh my god, he cheated on me. Oh my god, father, do not judge me. Though I judge others, you can judge. Blah blah blah. It's like, I don't care. It's about village people that are so Catholic and so fucking old fashioned. Like, who cares? I'm so happy everybody's a light now. I have like 2 hours left from this game, and I'll be happy and done with it.
Well, okay, great.
Exciting.
I wonder what will happen if you ever like encounter any real emotional weight in your life. I'm kind of wondering how much your head will explode when it happens.
Have you ever cried before, Chris? Let it all out right now.
Yes, I have. Of course, I have cried.
I don't know. I don't know if you. I don't think you have any emotion besides anger. Like, you ever watch that movie Inside Out? And they got, like, all the little emotions. He's only got anger in charge. The other ones are locked up in some weird kinky cage. Yeah, doesn't really do anything with them.
They're like Butters in that episode of South Park. You guys, I haven't had a chance to eat in 6 days, and my poop bucket's filled up. And then Cartman goes, "You got poop, don't you?"
Yeah.
I can go deep, but come on.
Well, other than playing the worst game in the world, Chris, life's good. Yeah, just say yes, because I don't really care.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh man, I missed you, Spagnoli.
I've been playing Nioh. Nioh's so
That's
good.
it. That's the only thing
really
you have in your life right now.
It's really good.
So good, man. It's so good.
What's it about? Tell me all the things. Is it about
You
Nioh?
You are Geralt of Rivia.
Okay. I'm not. But
Okay.
sure.
You are a lookalike Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah.
Right.
You look like Final Fantasy 15 version of Geralt.
Exactly. Yeah. You're the anime of Geralt. You're an anime Geralt. Okay.
All right.
Who is in Japan?
Matt,
hang on.
Wait, Matt, did you just open a beer right now? I didn't get to your intro yet. You can't hold it for like 2 minutes.
I had to work. I need a goddamn drink, Brian.
Well, you better chug the rest of that one before I get to your intro.
Deal. Go.
Alcohol.
Continue, Chris.
Alcoholic problem. Yeah. So you go to Japan because this weird dude stole your spirit, and you're trying to get your spirit back. And while in Japan, you're helping the people to, to kill off the yokais. Whatever. The story
like
is very
feudal
quirky.
Japan or something like that. Like they're.
Yeah, it's
It's not like you just walk into Tokyo and just get like, going to McDonald's or something and find your spirit there. I don't like.
No.
No, this is not Shenmue. This is
Damn.
Nioh.
Yeah, it's in the maybe in the I don't know. When was it? Do you know, Matt?
What are you asking me about? What time is it in?
When was
Feudal
it? It
Japan, I'm
was
assuming.
never. It's fake.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I
No, I think
successfully
they-
convinced a group
I
of people
think they
that there were
mention it.
actually real dragons in the past the other day. It's great. Fun time.
When I graduated X-ray
I
school and I went to a bar in my lab coat, I convinced a bunch of doctors that I became a doctor that day, and they bought me drinks for like 3 hours.
Well, no, you're going to jail now. You just said this online on the show. You impersonated a doctor. Going to jail.
No, that's impersonating a cop, sir. And I didn't
No,
try
no,
and
no.
perform a doctor thing
No, you tried
while
to
lying
perform
about being a
surgery.
doctor.
Continue, Chris. What else we got?
Yeah, so I think they do mention the date in the game, but anyways, the game is so good. I don't like when people compare to Dark Souls. It's very hard to, but it's so unique enough that if you go into it playing like Dark Souls, you will die.
That game, like I'm totally on board with Chris. The Dark Souls comparison sells it so fucking short. Like there's way more to that game than just Dark Souls stuff. There's way more. In fact, I honestly think From Software should be looking at this and saying, I think we might be getting served on this one here, gentlemen. So our next IP better come back.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't
exactly.
really heard anything about who's the developer. Have they made anything else that
Team
I would care
Ninja.
about?
Team Ninja, they made all the Ninja Gaiden 3D games, right? Chris?
Oh shit! What? I love Ninja Gaiden. I remember playing that excessively on the original Xbox. Yeah.
What was the last thing they did?
I think it was the new Devil May Cry reboot.
They also did
Was
the
that
Dead or
them?
Alive games.
Yes, they did the
think the Devil-
they did the Booby Fighters, yeah.
Yeah. Booby
And they
Fighters
made
2014.
Dead Alive, yes.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. So I actually, I feel like I hadn't really heard anything about them. They're a developer. I feel like I wouldn't really think about. If that makes sense.
Well,
Maybe
I
I'm
was
just-
never interested in the modern Ninja Gaiden stuff. It's
I
just-
haven't played it since. I mean,
I had my time with that series on the NES, and then I just kind of
Wait,
moved
on the NES?
Yeah,
that thing was not on the NES.
Ninja Gaiden started on the NES.
There is
What?
no
It's one
way
of the
that-
hardest games on the NES,
Yeah.
Sir Brian.
I don't
Yeah.
believe you. What? How does that even work?
It's the most annoying thing
It is-
in the
it is-
NES
it is-
version. When you get hit, you get knocked off, and that was the most annoying thing about the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. All right, maybe you're right.
Yeah, no, Ninja Gaiden 1, 2, and 3 are among the more good but fucking difficult games.
Okay.
Like people talk about, Battletoads being a great hard game. No, that game fucking sucked, all right? Ninja Gaiden was hard and good.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
You can't do that to yourself. To your own commentary.
I said
like,
hard and good. I mean, someone had to say it. No,
Are
neither
you sitting in
were
like a
gonna pick
room
up
by
the baton.
yourself sometimes, not even talking to anyone? Like, just have some random thoughts and just think, that's what she's.
Yeah,
just
I'm
start
like
laughing.
Dudley Moore and Arthur. I just laugh out loud to myself, and then when someone goes, "What's wrong?" I'm like, sometimes I just think funny things.
Sometimes I genuinely do that in my car way too often. I think I'm going insane.
But
Yeah,
now,
all right.
Chris, because you played the demo, and you explained the demo to me pretty well. And I know you're further along in the game than I am because I am stuck at the first proper boss.
I asked you if you wanted any help.
Yes, you did, and I said I do, but I haven't had time to fucking play a game.
No, you didn't reply, motherfucker.
Yes,
I told you,
I said
you
yes.
just need to quit your job.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I said yeah. Motherfucker.
Here's
Now-
the thing.
Now,
You know how co-op works, and I really hate. I don't know if I'm gonna. The way co-op works is, let's say me and Matt did not. If one of us has to finish a section, so we can play co-op.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of Dark Souls.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Which, yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But
I got nothing. Matt, what's been going on with you? You been playing anything? What's going on with life?
Last weekend, I actually started playing the game Oxenfree. And,
okay, Ollie Oxenfree?
Yeah, we could look at it that way. That game's really cool. Chris, I'll just spare you the freaking aggravation now. Don't go anywhere near it because you're gonna hate it. Because there's emotion and character.
You gotta
development
think and do things
and
like
there's
that.
thought, and it goes places and it deals with stuff and.
What is it? Is it just like a RPG?
I like emotion. I'm sorry. I like emotions in video games. Come on, The Last of Us was amazing.
The angry emotions.
Yeah, but see, you're the one who probably thinks emotion is like the orgy scene in God of War.
Wait, what?
So, oh yeah, you didn't know about that? Yeah, that exists.
Okay.
And it's.
You're telling me you wouldn't like to have the orgy feeling that they did on God of War?
I mean. Like, there's a part of my brain that thinks, yeah, that would be a good idea, but then I sort of think about it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I don't really think I have enough energy to satisfy one woman, let alone multiple. So I feel like if I get one and she's having a good old time, I'm good. You know, that's I know my ability. That's it. But Oxenfree is a really cool story in a way that I've not thought video game stories could be, because I think it sort of changes as you interact with it.
It looks beautiful. I'm looking at screenshots.
The main character's name is Alex. You play as Alex the entire game. You can't really change that, which is fine. And the story is centered around a bunch of juniors in high school, 11th graders. They are going to Edwards Island for their
spring break or something like that.
It's not really a spring break, but it's like, like how it seems like well, it's kind of like how in small town suburbia there's like that high school tradition that a bunch of kids do every year. Like, MTV created Spring Break to make the high schoolers of America think they have to go to Florida for spring break for some dumb goddamn reason. But it's like that. It's like when, like, if you've ever seen the movie Can't Hardly Wait, where they talk about, or actually no, here's a good one. American Pie. Like the way those the way those characters talk about sort of losing their virginity and sort of coming of age. Like, it's not just about getting laid. So
there's a scene.
No,
where you put
shut
your
up,
dick
Chris.
in a pie?
Shut up.
So wait,
shut up.
Is this more like a horror game though?
No, there are parts where I'm like, whoa, that was creepy, but it is about this idea of these people going to these kids going to this island for their, like, one of their definitive hallmark high school experiences that they can sort of cherish forever. But it kind of starts off in a sour way, and then I don't want to say the sidekick, but like Alex's best friend Ren tells you about something on the island, and you use your radio to tune in at this certain spot, and I'm not going to really go into it, but something happens, and then all of a sudden,
things start happening.
All of a sudden, well, it turns into. I don't want to really give it away, because then you start going into spoiler territory, but something happens, and then it turns into kind of.
Something goes horribly wrong.
Well, I don't want to say that, but it turns into.
That's Lost. What it says in the description.
Yeah,
on
but
Steam
that's
right now.
but descriptions are bullshit. It turns into like Lost, where you're asking, so what is this? But you have to dig in. You have to dig into it and sort of find out and understand it. And through these experiences, you sort of get. through these experiences and actually dialogue choices, and it's not like Mass Effect where one's red, one's blue, and then the other one's sort of in the middle. It's it's just three choices, and you just sort of respond, and they react to your responses. It doesn't really give you a clear good, bad.
Is this game set in like the 80s or 90s or something like that? It doesn't
No,
seem like...
I mean it has that. I mean, it's set in like, it has to be set in at least the 2000s, because there are references to cell phones and how there's no cell phone signal on the island and things like that.
Gotcha.
And I think it's a really good story. Now, one thing I do like is I've played through the game once, and now I'm playing through it again, and here's where this game has really hooked me.
What's the gameplay?
Shut up!
Looks 2D.
Shut up! It is. I mean, it's a point and click adventure
like
game
2D
basically,
okay.
with dialogue choices. That's really all it is. So you're gonna hate it. It's fine. But the second time through, you start seeing remnants of your first playthrough. Which and there are touches on like time travel
does that tie into like the story of the game itself, where like things are getting weird, like you said, like Lost style? Where
what happens is you get stuck in time loops throughout the game, and then there are ways presented to you to sort of stop the time loop so you can keep moving. But then the stuff happens on your second playthrough, and it's like it's almost like the fabric of it is kind of ripping apart.
Yeah.
And
damn,
you start to think, wait a minute. Are they in a time loop already? And I haven't played through the second time, but I'm gonna finish it, and I'm genuinely excited to see if it goes on to affect it further in like a third playthrough. I probably won't get to 4 because life has to move on. But
fair enough.
And because I didn't do it before, we'll do this again.
There you go.
So, did you platinum any games for February foreplay?
I am almost done with this one. I have like 2 trophies left.
Fun stuff. Well, I actually right now.
Actually, no. Before you start, Brian, what have you been playing?
What's up? What
have you been playing? Because we never really asked you, because you sort of start this. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I know. I kind of just move it. I've been playing 2 games actually. Both of them are older games. Not really older, that much older. Both 360 games. I recently played through all of Fable 2.
I love
just
that
out of
game.
nowhere. I don't know why.
So
I just
you
got
were
caught
farting
into
on
it.
people?
What's up?
Did you fart on people?
Fart on people, yes, excessively, and then I kick chickens all day.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I didn't even plan because I've been going through. I feel like every day I turn on my Xbox and there's like 5 new backwards compatible games, and I just start downloading them. And I started playing Fable 2 for like 5 minutes, thinking like I wasn't gonna really play it again, but I wanted to just see what the game looked like now, And I just got caught into it and played it for like a week straight and beat the game again. Other than that, they just actually released Grand Theft Auto 4 too, backwards compatibility on Xbox One, and yeah, it's so weird.
Can we go bowling, Brian? Can we go bowling?
I'm waiting. I just started it kind of. I'm waiting for Nico to call me up and ask me to go bowling, but
You mean Roman?
Yeah, no.
You mean Roman? Yes, Nico's you.
You
are Nico.
Then Brian's no, I'm Brian.
I'm Brian, man. No. It really is weird playing that game, because GTA 4 is, I feel like, a very, very, like, I feel like it didn't come out long ago at all, and then you realize it came out almost a decade ago, and then that's weird. It doesn't look good.
GTA 4.
You didn't like GTA 4?
No.
GTA 4 is not a good GTA game.
I like
it. Because the problem with GTA 4 is I feel like they grounded it so much that I don't feel like it's GTA anymore. Like Matt
it's a little serious.
Because Yeah, because in San Andreas, come on, you could pimp your car and like would jump like you know what I don't know what do you call it, like
There was a
your car you
jetpack.
can have.
They had a
Yeah.
goddamn
Yeah, there
jetpack.
was
I'll
a
throw this all
jetpack.
on your head. I didn't like San Andreas that much. I liked
What?
Vice City
San
a lot.
Andreas was the best.
In fact, Vice City is probably my favorite GTA. But
Well, no, Vice City's the undisputed best GTA.
I'm waiting for them to recreate that. I mean, if GTA 6 isn't a new Vice City, I'm going to be disappointed. Just saying.
Well, do you want a Vice City now or a Vice City then?
I think I would want a Vice City then. I would want an 80s game, like 80s, 90s.
I mean, I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, I'm not. I just think it would be great to see what that city could look like in like updated graphics today. But no, I didn't like San Andreas as much. I like GTA 4 a lot. In fact, I played GTA 4 so much. But it is weird comparing that now, having played GTA 5 so much all the time. You know, it really looks bad. It feels really weird. Like driving cars is totally different, and combat is very clunky and. Yeah, it's just really interesting for me when I think about GTA 4. That was a game I played so much as like I felt, I guess, more capable of understanding everything that was going on in the game at that time, and comparing that now 10 years later to just seeing the progression of how that series has evolved is real weird, even just with one game in between. Those are 2 games I've been playing.
Well, I think it was Giant Bomb like a long time ago talked about how Saints Row and Grand Theft Auto, like they compared the two in a sort of academic sort of way, and Saints Row used to be like the gritty one, and Grand Theft Auto was the weird one, and now they've gone completely the opposite direction.
Yeah,
like Grand Theft Auto is now pretty grounded in reality, whereas Saints Row is batshit insane.
The first Saints Row compared to the most recent Saints Row, was it Gat Out of Hell or something like that? It's just insane how much the series has changed. I mean, I love the Saints Row games. I remember playing that first one so clearly and how much fun that was. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with what they've done, really, with the Saints Row series, because I like the insanity. Sometimes I don't want to. I think they recognize that the insanity was something that people tried to push more, and I think just with Rockstar, they think of themselves as a higher quality developer, and they wanted to go in that direction of like a very, very hyper realistic game but still funny and a little odd at the same time. I like both of the games. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I want to talk about, actually, you were talking about topics before. Chris always makes fun of us, says that we're not prepared or something to talk about things. I've been doing a lot of research right now in school for looking at censorship for movies and radio back in the 20s and 30s. And it's really, really interesting to me looking at how in early films, how open everything was. Like the first lesbian kiss in a film was in 1914, and it didn't really happen again for a really long time.
Yep.
The amount of sex and drugs and more sex and drugs that were in
obligatory racism.
Yeah, oh man, the blackface that's everywhere too. It's just mind-blowing to me to see that existed, and then through a decade they start censoring everything, and how much that changes everything with films for decades that have still lasted to today. Mm-hmm. I mean, how accessible sex was, or how like nonchalant it was to see someone naked on screen in the 1910s, 1920s.
Yep.
Compared to all of the rest of the 20th century.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Well, It's. I mean, that sort of goes with like, that sort of happened with, like regulation in a way, like.
Yeah.
And I think we've also come to recognize that regulation can be a good thing. It can also be pretty fucking terrible. It can also backfire with all get out. I mean, look at Prohibition. It was easier to get alcohol then, when alcohol was illegal, than it is now.
Yeah, and you can make that same argument for weed right now in the
Right,
US too. Like, it was so much easier for me when I was 16 years old to go buy weed than it was to go buy a case of beer.
Oh,
really.
yeah.
Which isn't like... You'd think that it would be common knowledge, I feel like, but apparently that's not how the law works.
I couldn't drive a car at all because I did not have a license. But I could not drive a car, but I could literally walk down the street and probably get a pound of weed if I wanted to. Like and I'm not joking. Like that is not an exaggeration. There was a guy on my street that basically trafficked the shit.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure that like this kid down the block from me sells heroin, because I just see cars pull up in front of his house. I'm like, something fishy there, something going wrong.
Yeah.
But whatever. Things are weird here.
Yep.
But it is real crazy though, because I've been thinking about this too, even when I think about how TV is evolving today, where I think the example that I go to that's the easiest is Game of Thrones, and how excessively violent and just crass, and how much sex and things that are going on in that.
Yep.
I can't imagine a video game taking on that same level of crassness that Game of Thrones does. And it being even accepted as an M-rated game. Will we ever see an A-rated game? Is there a point to that being on the chart? Like,
well, there have been several of those that have been released, but the problem is none of them have been good. And
so this is my curiosity, is will there be a developer, like a major developer that says, let's be really bold. And I know A-rated games are not even allowed on Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, which is an even tougher thing. You're only going to find them on PC.
Yeah.
But and I think what was that Grand Theft Auto mod? Was it Hot Coffee?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It's on PC too, right?
That was a PC thing, and it's probably considered the best, the quote unquote best adult only game, and it's just a mod of Grand Theft Auto, because I think it takes the sex and prostitution to a weird level, and I mean I never played it. I remember I heard someone else talk about it, and I'm like, what the fuck is Hot Coffee? And then I went looking for it, and, well, I found some stuff, and then I found what I was actually looking for. And...
yeah. No, I just feel like we're getting... Looking at TV and how... that I feel like TV's in like a golden age right now, where you have these really, really, really amazing high quality shows constantly coming out and being less restricted because they can go straight to Netflix, or they can go on HBO Go, or whatever it is. And I feel like it's good to see like producers having that much freedom. They can do whatever they really want to do, and if you have the right team of writers and the right director, and everything sets up well enough, you create one of the greatest shows ever, or greatest TV or movies ever. Yeah. And part of me is in the back of my mind just waiting for that one developer to try and push the envelope a little more with how much truer to life they could really get. Because I remember a couple episodes ago, we were talking, Matt, you mentioned about how no video games really have a good writing. Like, it's not it's not that prioritized usually in development.
It's not, because that's not the focus of a game. Like,
yeah.
Like, for instance, like, look at the game Chris just played. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. That game is a written story. And I don't necessarily think that game is fun to play. Because you're literally just walking. And you hit the interact button on a couple of things. But that part of it didn't detract from the experience for me, because instead of going into the game with what I wanted to experience, I just sort of let it show me what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's I mean, this is a medium that is real difficult because there are so many different ways to come at it. And
I still feel like video games are so new too. As
The
well.
problem I had, with the game is, I don't care if a game has a story, even if it's only a story. Okay, I fucking love Telltale games. I buy every Telltale game. What do you do in Telltale? Click on things.
Yeah, but you don't buy them because you like them. You buy them because they're easy platinums. Don't bullshit me.
No, I actually do like them. No, that's not true at all. The only Telltale games that I actually did not like is the Minecraft one. But I actually love... I bought Season 2, The Walking Dead, and has no platinum. I actually like the story. I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Okay, well, I was wrong. My bad.
Borderlands has one of the funniest games you can ever play. Like if even if you don't like Borderlands, you should totally buy the Telltale Borderlands because it's so funny. The problem with Everybody's Gone to Rapture is they're trying to have this human emotion connect with me because nobody has a face, and that's how I connect with somebody, with the expression of a face and not just a voice and coming from out the light. I cannot connect that much of intimacy with somebody. It's just a voice. It's not like a book, because a book I can like read it, and I'm putting effort to it, and I'm very intimate with the book. But with just hearing a voice, I just don't actually give a crap, to be honest.
And that's
even
fair.
though the voice acting is amazing, I just cannot connect with anybody but if you play other games that has very good facial expressions, like and then The Last of Us, in the scene, spoiler alert, where Joel holds his daughter, and like I barely know the daughter, but she dies, and the way that is portrayed, I was like, I almost shed a tear, to be honest. My emotionless robot heart almost shed a tear, and it was so powerful, because if that was just two lights doing like that, I'd be like, who gives a shit? But because there was the expression, the watery eyes, the voice, the way he hugs her, the way he moves, the way he screams in despair, everything works on an emotional level. You need some sort of connection in a story.
But see,
and that's how a story works. You're just voices.
You're also saying that it works on an emotional level. So I actually think there's part of your statement that's actually kind of making the argument that because it's done well, it doesn't have to be real life. I'll be honest with you. I think that, I mean, like, I love The Last of Us. I genuinely do. The Last of Us, as it plays out as a game, is not a book I want to read. But I actually think, like, all of the emotional scenes in The Last of Us, every single one of them hits and lands because of A, the writing, B, the acting, C, the visual part of it doesn't even really need to enter it, because at that point the acting and the writing is so good that I already have sort of an emotional entryway. And I actually think if that game was 8-bit, I'd still react the same way that I did.
I think The Last of Us 2 is a really good example of a game that I don't think, or just a media that I don't think can work in another medium. Like, I can't imagine The Last of Us as a movie. In fact, I don't think it would make you experience that same level of emotions. I think the whole experience and being involved in the things that you do and like exploring the world itself and having that little bit of extra freedom doing things with the video game medium of actually doing the actions in the game gets you more involved. And I mean, there are some games that I think this could have been a great movie, and there are some games that become movies and I'm like, what were you thinking? That you shouldn't have bothered.
Like, Everybody's Gone to the Rapture would make an amazing, not a movie, TV series, because there's so many characters. Like, I lost track who is what.
I just want to go yell at certain writers and say, like, make sure you're gonna make this great, you're gonna write this story, this awesome text or media text. Make sure you choose the right medium to tell people the story with. Like, it's important. We have so many different choices now.
It should be a TV miniseries. I'm not kidding. If it was a TV miniseries and without the whole light bullshit, if it was, let's say, an origin story and not some guy watching the origin story, or some guy maybe walking alone and he sees them as humans, not as lights. It makes a really good TV series, because I think there's a good story, but it's so portrayed so badly that I just cannot care. I just cannot. There's so many characters coming along in each section. I'm like, what?
You want to explore
is it Lizzie again? Is it Frank again? Is it the two fucking guys again? Like, whatever now, just lost the track and I don't care anymore.
But yeah, I think we're at a really, really interesting point, just generally too. There are so many different options to get, like I said, choosing the right medium for your message. There are so many ways that you can really approach it now. And they each have their pros and cons. And I think writers and producers, I would like to see more maybe TV producers deciding, this TV show would work better as a video game. Like, I want to see these industries kind of collide a little bit more, because I feel like there's that kind of potential for more things to happen. They regiment themselves so strictly to, like, we're a video game company, we're a TV company. There can be a company that is able to bring both of these things in, just as trying to figure out the best way to tell people what they want to tell.
Well, and I actually think there are people trying to work that angle to it, but then it becomes something just gets lost along the way. But I actually, as much as I've talked shit about him, I actually think the person that could probably come closest to doing that and making it work is Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, that's a really, really good example.
I mean, because like. I haven't played a Metal Gear Solid game, just because it doesn't really interest me. But like I've tried to dig into Metal Gear Solid and just sort of understand it, just because I like the medium of video games, so I have to kind of know the big boys a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to understand the story of Metal Gear?
No. I'm not. That's not really what I mean. But I'm trying to understand the allure of it, and I think maybe the allure is probably in the gameplay. And I tried Metal Gear Solid 5, and I put it down after a couple of hours, but that's a different thing.
To be honest,
but I actually think like the failings of like Metal Gear Solid 4, despite it being a 10 in most people's eyes, like making movie long cutscenes does not make does not make the combination of video game and movie very well. And I think, you know, Kojima learned something from that. And like the Metal Gear Solid 5 that I played, there's a cinematic quality to just the gameplay. And you know, and then the fact that it's almost like and that cinematic quality is combined with the agency of the player in a way that probably hasn't really been seen before.
Yeah.
And
there's just a tremendous amount of creativity in how they approached making a game with the entire Metal Gear series. That is what made them stand out. Is just you have these conventions that already exist, and then they just flip them upside down.
Yeah,
and
the allure about Metal Gear I think is because it's set up in a way that if Hideo Kojima came and said, well, they were all aliens because an UFO came 600 years ago and infected everybody, and nobody would even question him, because that's how wacky and you can twist the game so much that it can work. You can put any kind of element in it and it works. There's a fucking whale that jumps that flies. Okay, like it works. But when you play the game, like this doesn't feel. It is weird, but doesn't feel weird in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole allure of Metal Gear, because it's so wacky but set up so perfectly.
Yeah, I think they introduce the crazy elements pretty well so that you're able to like understand them a little more. They're just not nonsense as you're playing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and probably the reason I think that a lot of it is nonsense is just because I've never played the games. Like I played the two Metal Gear Solid, or the two Metal Gear games that came out on the NES, and I loved those, but that was a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And you know, I think that, and while I may never get the allure of Metal Gear Solid because I'll never actually sit down and finish one of those games. But that doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and go, those games are bad, because that's unfair of me. But the way I think you're actually right, you know, maybe if you're actually in it and you see, and then you're introduced to the insanity while in the game, you're like, oh, this is palpable because this just happened.
Yeah, well, and that's just good game design generally too, is being able to introduce the game elements and making them seem natural to a player. I think probably like 10 episodes ago, I talked about how the tutorial for a game is an extremely important part that a lot of people don't pay attention to whether or not you're going to like treat the game as a good game or a bad game or not. Being able to introduce those elements smoothly and like not super blatantly too, and like not treating the player like a dumbass. Those are super important.
You know what I hate about tutorials? Because I'm sorry. Did you play Nioh, Matt?
Yeah,
Did you think the tutorial was so stupid?
I thought it was a bit ham-fisted, but like I didn't think it was stupid. I mean, I actually,
you know why
I actually think it's a waste of time because it's so easy.
It's not about that. It's like they throw you in this world and you have to kill enemies. They don't say anything. You finish the level and you go into the island, and now they start the tutorial.
and then you're like in a
how, like if I didn't figure all the things that you're saying to me now, I wouldn't have beaten the level before. Why are you telling me right now, you stupid fucks?
But I think you know the difference between, like, I think the actually that's actually probably the one part of it I liked, because you have to figure out what the hell each control is. In that,
I understand.
I think there are certain games where you can have a very basic tutorial and not explain too much and still be good.
But see, the problem is once you get to that dojo area where it's all training, they do all the basic stuff again, and then they say, okay, here's where here's the beginning of how you can add to that. But and even then, like, as you progress through the game, you start digging through the menus. There is bottomless shit to upgrade in that game, and it's like I don't know. It's overwhelming in a way that.
Where's the tutorial for that?
Yeah, right. No one told me. I'm sitting here thinking, man, I really wish I could parry this, and then I find out you can level up a samurai skill into parrying. I'm like, why didn't someone fucking tell me that? Ugh.
Exactly. Like, why would you tell me stuff that I self-taught myself in the first level? Then you retell me. Then you retell me in the dojo. Like, this makes no sense. Fuck the tutorial. I mean, to tell me what is Omni Magic. Well,
yeah,
what
the hell is that?
How can I level them up?
Yeah, I'm not, huh? And then there's like 2 shortcut menus. I'm like, wait, this is but at the same time, you know, I'm getting like all those same feelings when I play Demon Souls for the first time. I'm like, there's so much here that I've not been explained. I actually have to sit down and just fucking dig into it. And yeah, like I mean, I can already say that once I actually get a bit further into Nioh, it might take a lot of special shit to beat Nioh as my game of the year. Yeah. And like this is a year where Persona is supposed to come out, right?
Oh, I don't think it's gonna beat Persona.
I mean, well, and that's you, but like Persona, despite it being a new story and everything, it's still kind of a known quantity because I've played a couple other Persona games before. This is like there's a lot new here to the point where I'm just like, holy crap, this is exciting. And I wish it didn't come out in February because I want to fucking play it now, but I've got 4 in February I have to platinum. Thanks, Chris, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. No, wait. You came up with the game, not me. You came up with the game.
No, you mentioned it.
I mentioned it, but I didn't came up with the game.
What game?
The February foreplay.
You did that. I named the episode. Idea. No, the 4 in February was yours.
No, it was yours. Go hear the episode again.
I think. Okay, you know what? Next time I'm on, I will apologize if I'm wrong.
Oh snap!
Okay. All right.
And if Chris is wrong, he won't apologize.
Fault, Chris.
Yeah, because I wanted to play Nioh yesterday the whole day, and I'm like, nope, I have to play this boring ass game.
You picked it.
I know.
Regrets.
Well, at least Oxenfree is pretty good. I'll say that.
Yeah, Oxenfree looks pretty interesting though too. But
it's a quick game too. It's a real quick game. Like 2 hours.
As you guys were going talking there, I went through because I mentioned like certain censorship in games before too, and I find it really, really crazy the amount of times that blood is censored in games, considering like every game or an excessive amount of games have blood in it. And it's weird to look at the ones that are suddenly just split out and like chosen for no reason. Like you mentioned before in Australia that like Left 4 Dead 2, the high levels of violence, heads popping off and stuff, that was censored there. But then, like, didn't Gears of War release there? Like,
yeah.
What is the, like, there's no coherency to any of, like, the guidelines, I feel like. that.
No, there's not. Because, you know,
exist.
on Sega Genesis, you could play Mortal Kombat and with blood. And on Super NES, I don't think you could. It was, yeah. I mean, it's...
It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, the current rating system for games is ridiculous. There is no point to the way they try and regulate it, trying to say like M is 18 and up, but there are games that are rated T that are crazy violent and like Is Halo really that much more deserving of an M rating compared to Destiny getting a T rating? Is it really like the amount of violence is pretty equal? Like the amount of
but you're killing aliens. Like
you kill aliens in Halo. This is exactly kill aliens in both of these games.
And their blood is neon blue. I mean, what the hell?
Well, like what is happening? My point is that
what I want to understand is why America is okay with chopping heads off and ripping limbs out of their bodies and so much violence and shoving a knife somebody's inside their throat, and that's okay. But if you see titties, oh my god, titties.
Well, this goes back to exactly what I was talking about.
But in Europe, they're reversed. Like they don't like the violence that much, but they're okay with the titties.
Yeah.
I don't
so
understand.
This is super interesting. That whole idea of exactly what you're just talking about, Chris, where there is some studies that are done.
Your mom and dad, they touch their, like your dad touches your mom's titties.
Down.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But
I want to talk about my parents touching titties. This is weird.
In Europe. In Europe, why is it that violence is looked down upon more, and then sexual like promiscuity is more accepted? There are some studies done that show that people in Europe are more cautious of violence because of World War I and World War II and how close violence was to them, like seeing the actual horrors of war there. Where in America, we don't have wars here.
Yeah.
We don't. Yeah, when's the last time we had a war fought on our soil? Like
the Civil War.
Pearl Harbor.
The Civil War was fought on our soil. That was it. And Pearl Harbor was one bombing. It wasn't a war.
So we generally
one bombing doesn't count as a war?
The war was not fought on American soil.
Yeah, no, that doesn't count. Like even with Pearl Harbor, I mean, even with Pearl Harbor, think about what it's.
Think about what the fuck you just said. Like it's like crazy. But see now think about it this way. Look at it this way. In Europe, I mean, most of what I know about European culture, which really isn't, I'm not going to pretend it's a lot, but they're a lot freer with sex, as you said.
Yeah. And part of that too, and I'm going to tie in my current research constantly of film, TV, and radio regulations, is that there was less regulations in Europe. In the United States, after the 1920s, there's a whole big thing where in the 30s, there's a whole Christian movement where we're talking about morality and stuff, and they started to regulate things more, and they had like couples, they would have a married couple, and they'd each have their own separate bed. It was great.
In fact, the Brady Bunch was the first American TV show in massive syndication that had the husband and wife in the same bed. I'm pretty sure that's actually a fact.
It's just exactly what I'm saying. Those regulations started in the 30s, and you're saying the Brady Bunch? How many years after these regulations are in place do we finally move on from them, too?
30 years.
I don't know how things work. I don't know math.
That's fine. That's why I'm here.
Thanks
but from what I know, having had an ex-wife who is from Romania and going to that country and going to a couple other countries, like sex is kind of just out and about in Europe. However, guns are not.
Yeah. And
now, I'm not gonna sit here and make any sort of political statements because I'm not that smart. But it's pretty interesting that, in America. Hello?
What was that? Yeah, you're there.
Chris, are you okay?
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
Chris, did you just board a train?
No, it's raining here.
Oh,
okay.
I was
was
like,
thunder?
man, I'm not
Holy
sure what
shit.
that was. That was a massive thunder. Anyway, here, there is a culture of sexual repression.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to say, Brian, you came out last year. I'm not going to say that someone coming out in Europe has it easy.
It's different.
But it's definitely different.
Yeah. There's I mean, it depends on the countries too. Like,
because
there's variety and stuff.
Yeah, like it really depends on where you're coming from. But I think, you know, if you, it's weird how the culture of repression seems to foster violence, whereas a culture of somewhat sexual freedom doesn't have a lot of violence.
Yeah, I think it's just different
because everybody
focuses.
who has sex is happy.
Yeah. Well, it's just weird to me, especially I've been watching these really old films to see how totally, like, everyone had sex. That was just, like, what happened. Like, they were, like, totally honest about it, and that's just what they showed in their films. And then in the 30s happened, we just pretend no one has sex. No one touches each other for 60 years. Just no one does that. Like, what kind of logic is that? Like, to think that this is how... Whatever. I could rant about this for a really long time. My point, though, bringing video games into this discussion of censorship is whether, like, the ESRB ratings are good, and whether we should really think about video games as being just, like, evolving more from just the rating system.
Well, I think there was a documentary, and I don't remember. I think it was called "This Film Is Not Yet Rated."
I might have heard of it before.
And it was talking about, like, the rating system for movies, and it was literally people. It was literally filmmakers or producers saying, "We have to make sure we get this rating," but it almost depended on that filmmaker or that producer's reputation what rating they got. It didn't even matter.
Exactly.
It didn't even matter the content, and you sort of see. I mean, it's all. This is in like it's all essentially bullshit. But I actually think it can. There's a way to use it as a guide rather than say, you know, this is not for kids.
Yeah.
But the guide is
completely flawed.
Yeah, exactly. Cause it's rated 14 if there's a guy shooting a bullet someone's head and you see the hole in his brain, that's okay. But it's rated 16 when you see a tit. What?
Well, I mean,
I think the kid will go traumatized more if you see the bullet on his head, but he actually be happy if you see the tit.
Right.
I think just the lack of consistency between everything, though, too, is what bugs me the most. Like The Witcher, I was reading the censored video games list on Wikipedia, and The Witcher, all female portrait cards in The Witcher. After Geralt's sexual conquest, in quotes, are censored for the U.S. version.
Yep.
So, like, but there are just... In GTA 5, you can just walk into a strip club and you can go bang a hooker, like, after. Like,
yeah, but you don't...
You kind of see it, too. Like
you see enough. You see enough.
It's pretty clear what's happening. And, like... Yeah,
I mean, it depends. Well, in GTA, let's be fair. It depends on which tier of sex you're paying for. Because if you're playing the cheap one, you're just getting a blowjob, and you see her head go into your lap. And then if you're paying for, you know, the second level, it's almost like the same view, but you just see the car moving a little bit. And then if you're paying for the top tier, it pans away.
But
you watch the car just start to hydraulic, you know.
Yeah.
No. In America, the censorship is just so weird that if you can display sex, but if you don't see the genitals, it's okay.
Right.
I think there's a recognition that it's kind of crazy, though, too.
Well,
like
if you blur out the genitals, it's okay to show it.
Yeah.
You cannot, if you can say penis inside vagina, that's okay, but you cannot say something more like, you know.
You can't you can't see female nipples, but you can see a guy naked for days.
Yeah, have you guys seen
exactly?
You can't see a vagina on screen, but you know there are plenty of movies where we've seen either Tom Cruise or Kevin Bacon's cock.
Yeah, you cannot see vagina. I don't know, and that's why in GTA you don't see the vagina. You don't see like the girl sucking the dick, you know. You don't
Yeah.
see that. You know it's happening, so that is okay to be in the game.
Well,
But if you see the genitals, like in South Park, there's a scene with the aliens where they put a dildo inside his butt.
Oh, that's so
That is
good.
censored.
South Park is so good. Or you get attacked by testicles in South Park.
Exactly. That is censored, but if that's why you see it. You see the word censor putting in his butt, like it's penetrating inside his butt. You see the censor. It's it's happening. He's getting fucked by a dildo, but you cannot see the dildo. It's weird. It's
Well,
why? Like,
I'm glad
happening.
you brought up South Park because in the South Park movie, Sheila Broflovsky, Kyle's mom, has an actually such a poignant quote. She says, "Graphic, deplorable violence is okay, as long as you don't use any naughty words." That is the state of censorship in this country.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily bring the sex into it because, I mean, we talk about America being oh so free, like we invented fucking freedom, especially the religious right in this country. But none of those people want to address sex with their kids.
Exactly.
They don't-
France is the freest country.
Well, I'm not. I've never been to
This
France.
is a
so I don't
weird.
know.
You can't like do this argument. It's like trying to argue what's the best country. That's an entirely impossible.
I know.
question.
I'm just joking.
I'm going to
Come.
say it right now. Antarctica is the best country because it hasn't been corrupted by fucking humans. All right.
I don't know. Those penguins are crazy up there.
I mean,
Down there.
and they're
Shit.
all the better for it. They're all the better for it. Everyone's walking around in a tuxedo. They're happy. They're swimming. It's great. But see,
I think penguins have orgies, right?
yeah.
Oh man, rated M. Antarctica, rated M for mature. No one's allowed there anymore. 18 and older only.
But see, and now Antarctica's starting to fall apart because dumb yuppie white people keep saying, "I want to go to Antarctica and see the penguins." Yet global warming doesn't fucking exist. God, I
Don't
hate
worry,
life
we'll get
sometimes.
rid of Antarctica soon. It'll be fine.
No, let's not get rid of Antarctica. let's keep it the pure Eden that it is, and let's humans stop going there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, no, censorship is fucking weird. It is.
I just want to see it change. Like the ESRB system, my entire point is that it just seems outdated, inconsistent, and that we can do a lot better. Like I would rather just have the things that the game has listed on it. Like even if they want to put it in bigger letters, if they I don't care about them saying like trying to regiment each one though into like different categories. Just say this game has a lot of sex and blood. Like okay, that's it. That's all you need to write on it.
Yeah.
You don't need to like there can't be that many crazy things in the game. You don't have to list. It doesn't need to be a laundry list.
Here's why censorship does not fucking matter. Here's why it doesn't matter.
Because if you want the game, you're gonna get it.
Exactly. Like we have medical fucking proof that smoking is bad for you. There are warnings on every pack of cigarettes
Yeah.
of the shit it will do to you. We have ads that are the scariest goddamn thing. You see people that have had their tracheas removed
I
and
know.
they can't
They're
talk
just
without
creepy.
one of those nyam 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 machines. You know? And people still fucking smoke.
Please explain the machine again, Matt.
They sound like Ned from South Park. That's really it. and I'm not gonna sit here and say that someone is wrong for smoking because I drink. All right, I drink because it helps me unwind. Now, do I drink enough that I think I have a problem? No, because really the only time I drink is when I'm in a social situation, and these podcasts are social situations for me. This is like I'm having a conversation with my friends and I'm having a beer while I do it. Most of the rest of the week, not drinking. Because in my head I think of the George Thorogood song I Drink Alone and I think, man, that's about a sad motherfucker. Just some guy who wants to get drunk by himself and not have any fun.
I do think so. There is a difference too for like. I have friends that will drink alone, and I think that's kind of crazy. Like, I wouldn't even have fun. Like, I want to talk to people.
Exactly.
When I drink, that's what I want to do is talk.
It's like I got seriously drunk by myself once, and there was nothing good about that day, because by the time I'm like, man, I really think I should do something, but I'm too goddamn drunk. So I guess I'm just gonna order a pizza and keep drinking. Yeah. And you know, and like it was just me and the dog, and the dog seemed to be all right, but you know.
Totally side point. This is interesting too. Is the censorship of even drugs or alcohol usage in games as well? Like,
you mean how you can't see someone imbibe a beer on TV?
Yeah, that's great. In the commercials, you can't ever see him actually drink. Like, what do you think they're gonna do with it after? Like.
And like, since I think it was like,
it's so much fun opening these beers and then throwing them out while they're full. Like is that really what?
Yeah.
You clink them together and then throw them away.
Cheers. Nope, we're not drinking these because Americans don't like people get drunk. Yeah. Like, and then I think like I was watching. I recently went through. Well, not recently. Probably within about a year ago. I actually rewatched like all of Seinfeld, and like. In the first 3 seasons, you see people smoking on screen.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't happen anymore. I'm like, wow, that's weird. And then I actually sort of went, and apparently there was like a rule and say that you couldn't see people smoke on TV because the children. and that was because, you know, the kids would probably ask their parents who were smokers and say, how come they do that and you do that and you tell me not to?
Yeah. I know. I think there is.
You know, I hate the fact that the media has to do the parenting instead of the parents.
Well, it's not even the media. It's like like a bunch of dumb white people get tired of talking to their kids because they're just tired from their workday, and then they chose to be parents, but they don't want to put the effort in, and then they're like, I need someone else to explain sex because I can't find words.
Yeah.
I need someone else.
It's so easy. Like, a boy has a penis, a girl has a vagina. It penetrates. They have, and when.
I mean, like it's like
there's some.
Here's what sex is.
Thrusting.
Here's what sex is. It's dick in hole. Now, there's also more to dick in hole.
Welcome
but you're
to
not
Sex
ready
Education
for that.
with Matt.
So, I'm actually paraphrasing Rafi from the show The League.
Oh yeah.
The sex we're going to have is merely transactional. I'm talking about dick in hole. I'm not taking you to dinner. I don't think we have to like each other.
but I mean, like, not every hole could work. Like, if you want to teach the children, like, okay, there's 2 nasals. Those are holes.
A lot of holes can work.
I don't want them.
Are you talking about nostrils?
Yeah, nostrils.
Okay, I'm like,
I don't want a kid, sticking his dick in a
A
nostril.
belly button is not a hole. It's more of a divot.
Well, I'm
Chris,
not saying
what
a belly
have you been
button.
doing
I'm
with
saying
your life?
I think we've gotten.
I'm not saying a belly button. I'm saying a nostril.
Oh,
so
yeah,
not every hole. Not every hole.
This is a little off topic from my point.
The eating hole could work. The pooping hole can work. Mm-hmm. But you have to clean the pooping hole, please.
I mean, no. Dingleberries are a real danger at that point.
Oh God! All right, that was yeah.
That was transactional.
My point. Let's see some more risque things in video games. That's it.
Yeah, I'm like, and you know what? I don't like the fact that is when feminazis complain about a girl being skinny.
Okay, now hang on. I want to stop you here. I don't think I'm not saying you're wrong. But please don't say the thing feminazis. That's just very stupid. It's a very dumb word.
I don't want to say because I don't want to say feminist
because they're not feminists. They're assholes. That's what they are.
Certain people that are just dicks.
Assholes.
Like I consider myself a feminist too, but like the entire basis of that is stupid. Like it just equality is something that should be accepted and normal. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird to me to hear people say that they wouldn't be a feminist, but like it doesn't like.
Yeah,
I think
I don't want to use.
They think of the
that's
dicks that
why.
you're talking about, the ones that just go insane and like they have these crazy ideas, but those are far and few between.
Yeah.
Those type.
That's
of
why I don't want to refer them as feminists, because that deteriorates the word feminism. Because feminism, I think it's great, but what they are doing, it's not.
But see, at that point, they're not just feminazis, because now I do think feminazis is a thing, but I don't think it applies to this argument. Now I'm with you 100% because whoever's going to make something, let them make what they're gonna make.
Exactly.
And you know,
but you know what I really get, like, tell me once a guy or you heard that got very popular. I'm sure there's like one or two, but something that got super popular that the guy was complaining, Kratos being fucking ripped and doesn't represent my fat ass belly, fat ass belly. Have you ever?
Wait,
well, but see, here's the thing. That's not my complaint about Kratos.
I understand.
My complaint about Kratos is that he's just an asshole.
Forget about the character. I'm talking about his body, about his fucking big ass, muscly body that makes all the women wet. Okay, like I'm talking about his representation of his body. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like I don't hear guys complaining about stuff like that. And
I've complained about that, but not like that.
You complain Kratos being
I've complained about this sort of thing, but not about Kratos.
Okay.
About who?
I'm being the elder of this podcast.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you're old.
Yeah, I remember when in the late 80s or early 90s when Fabio became a big thing because he was on the cover of some romance novels, and then all of a sudden he was in a commercial going, "I can't believe it's not butter," and women here lost their shit. And
okay.
And I was like, why? They're like, oh, but he's so good looking. And, I'm 11, so it's not like I can really, argue this. But I'm like, he just seems like a dumbass with muscles.
Yeah. No, I think there is just...
Yeah, but I mean, like, I understand. Okay, but why would it bother you, to be honest?
I don't even know. I can't even understand why it bothered me because it's not something I've ever wanted.
Is it like you're jealous?
It's not like I've never been jealous of that because I've never wanted to be that.
Yeah, well, I think there is women are over-sexualized generally in media, and men are less. And I think that is generally the complaint. Not even just that the representations of them, what they look like. I mean, women wear way tighter clothes than guys. I will tell you because I've noticed.
Yeah, but it's not sexy for a guy to wear tight clothes. Like, you want to see a guy wearing yoga pants?
I don't know, man. A lot of European guys think that shit's sexy, and it's fucking creepy.
Is it? No, you're telling me a girl would find a guy wearing a yoga pants sexy?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying yoga pants, but when I went to Spain and when I went the few times I've been to
mean
Romania,
the Speedos?
No, it's not Speedos because frankly, when I went to the Dominican Republic, I rocked a Speedo because it's fucking comfortable.
Fuck, gross.
Never give us that image.
That image in my head. Don't go out.
I was also on the swim team in high school, so that's why I.
Okay, so you weren't ugly or something?
No, I'm not. I'm not pretty.
Oh God! All right.
I'm not pretty,
yeah.
but guys in Europe and it does it doesn't matter if they have the daddest of dad bods. They wear tight clothes. And literally, I've seen more. You remember Fight Club? You remember the movie Fight Club? Bob with the bitch tits.
Yes.
You mean Meatloaf?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean Meatloaf. I've seen more Bobs with bitch tits on the other side of the Atlantic than I have ever seen in America.
Okay, I don't care about that, but
And we are the land of the goddamn obese. All right?
Go ahead. What's your question, Chris? I'll try and help, too. I'll give you my perspective.
But would the woman find the bitch tits attractive in you?
No.
I'm not saying that they do. I just don't get why the guys
just
do
like
that.
they don't care. They don't care about things. They're free in life. Don't judge them. Do what they want.
No. My idea is that tight clothes it does not attract women. That's what I'm saying.
Well, it's totally like socially constructed. Blah,
but
blah,
tight
blah,
clothes
blah,
on
really
women
matter.
attracts guys.
What's attractive? Like, I mean, it's like super suggestive too, or subjective. Like you can't.
But in general, come on, let's be serious.
In general, what's well? I would think a guy that needs to be fit generally. That's really it. I'm
talking about a guy being attracted to a girl. And generally, they would prefer if the clothes was tight. Not, I mean, like tight, they would like fucking dying and cannot breathe. But I mean, not like baggy pants like fucking, those rapper guys wear them.
The baggy pants like those rapper
Lebanese
guys
version
wear.
of, oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
What?
She must be one of those
say?
rap guys' girlfriends.
Those rapper guys with the baggy pants. Like Chris just turned into a 70-year-old white man in America.
Wow. Wow.
Get off my lawn.
This podcast is over, man. I'm done. Who are you people?
This has been amazing, actually.
My point. All I tried to say. Maybe let's just be more freer with the regulations and have less restrictions on what games show. That's all.
Yes. Don't introduce sex for the sake of having sex. If it relates,
you just represent real situations as truthfully as you can. That's all I want them to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it relates with the story, do it.
The more honest you are about anything, the better it comes off.
Yeah.
I mean, when Game of Thrones introduced so much sex and gore in it, it doesn't do it because
it fits it fits the entire story. They're not forced sex scenes. Like they don't have sex for the sake of having sex. There are people. They're just real people, and these are the things that they do, and they don't restrict things based on an already set idea of what's moral and what's not to show on TV. They just show what would happen in their world, and I don't think
because that is the norm over there. Like the way they have the sex, how much it's overused. That's very norm over there. That's if you want to do it in a video game, let it make sense. And not just like
I'm not saying I don't want a porno video game. I just want to developers to feel free to make whatever they want and not have to feel like if they do too many things of this, if they push the boundary too far,
Chris has the market on
they'll
wanting
be
a porno
restricted.
video game.
Yeah, Chris is already like
he's like, give me that VR porn.
Chris has like 500 penny stocks and like a million companies all making those porno videos. Like they're waiting for the big one.
Oh my God! Did you guys Did you guys watch the video College Humor did about the VR porn?
I did not.
I saw the one about adulthood versus childhood. That was pretty good.
Why does porn come up on this show so much? I'm really curious. Like,
okay.
Every single episode, I'm pretty sure the word porn, dick, vagina, penis, something has come up.
Well, and if you really want to dig into those analytics, most of it is from Chris. Let's be real.
What?
I agree.
Chris, you walking penis with ears. You know it's you. Now stop. But what were we talking about?
I'm done. I gotta go in like 5 minutes, so I'm done.
Okay, so to recap, Chris thinks Everybody's Gone to the Rapture's awful.
Mm-hmm. He also loves Nioh.
Brian's playing old games.
Brian's just bored. He's playing all his old 360
Chris
games.
and I both love Nioh. Oxenfree Matt thinks is aight.
Choose the right medium for your message for stories.
Choose the right medium for your message. Censorship is fucking weird. Be a little bit freer and attack the content as honestly as possible.
Boom.
Done.
Yes.
That's what we talked about.
Do not
Great
be
job,
afraid.
everyone.
Do not be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid to remove something. If you have an idea, suggest it. Do not be afraid what people would say. Maybe it's actually as artistic and awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make what you want to make, people. That's it. If this is a message to a developer, make what you want to make. Don't think about like too many different things. Like,
Yeah.
just
Don't think about a tweet saying
what's going to
"Oh
be
my
the
God."
best representation of what you want to say. That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah. Don't be afraid from tweets from people saying, "Oh my God, this doesn't represent my body. I'm so self-conscious now."
And they're all going to talk
oh
like
my
that.
God.
Right.
All right, that is it.
mean,
I
Let's drive this ship off the cliff. Brian, where can we find you?
Zombie XSP, Instagram, Snapchat, Xbox. Add me on all those places. I'll play with you. Someone actually added me. Shout out to the guy that just added me on Xbox. I forget his name. I love you. I'll message you later personally saying thank you that you're giving a shout out on the show, even though I don't know your actual gamer tag.
Because Brian's an asshole.
Yeah, we'll have to turn it on. It'll take too long. Matt,
but we love you anyway.
Yeah, whoever you are, random person. You're great.
I love you, random man.
Matt, what do you got? Where are you?
I am Infinite_Rewind on every platform I want to be on. If you're talking to Infinite_Rewind on a platform that is not me, stop talking to them. They're only going to show you their penis. You
That's
can
Chris
you,
actually
you
just
can also find me on
using his
Instagram
profile.
at Infinite_Rewind. I post a lot about vinyl. I've been writing a lot about music at DNAnetwork.net. And I've also been doing a show called NGR Radio there.
Wait. You cannot plug. You cannot plug that podcast when you don't plug my
Plug our
podcast over
podcast.
there.
But yeah, continue.
And Chris is going to be a guest on our next show.
Oh snap!
The next time we record, which I'm excited for.
Why am I not a guest? What?
I've invited you twice, Brian, and you've never responded.
How'd you invite me? I did not get or whatever.
I invited you on Facebook, and you roundly ignored me.
I did not
So
roundly ignore
can
you.
take your
I don't even
phone
know how to
sex
roundly
operator
ignore.
voice. You can put a cork in it because Chris is going to tell us where we can find him. Chris, take us home.
You can find me on Twitter. It's Taporian. Yeah. TAPORIAN. And you can find me on Instagram. Same thing, Taporian. But I just post food I make. I cook and take pictures of them. I guess they call me foodie. But at least it's better than just taking pictures of somebody else made the food.
This is true. Yeah,
And-
this is true. That's how I take pictures of my food.
Exactly. You have to follow the podcast Instagram at PA Platinum. Platinum Achievement. Yeah, it's the best Instagram ever.
I follow it. It's
So
pretty
good.
good.
Yeah, and you should join our Facebook group, the Platinum Achievement Podcast.
That's
you should
always good.
very much. I, the only person here, ever post there. Unless it's self-interest, though. If somebody's going to plug something, they'll post it there. Like Matt.
What? I like writing about music. I'm sorry. What do you want? I don't know why you guys have me on this show. I don't know anything about video games. The only thing I know about is music and movies.
Yeah, well, I'm like, you only post there when you want to plug your music thing.
Because
Like,
I'd like to.
that's-
I'd prefer someone tell me I don't know shit about that and have a conversation rather than saying, Matt, everybody's gone to the Rapture sucks.
Okay, you can post news. I'll post news in the Facebook group.
I used to do
Almost
that, and everybody
daily.
made fun of the news I posted.
Yeah.
And when
You
I
don't
say
do that
everybody,
anymore.
I'm talking about you, Chris.
And if you join the group, you'll be able to see arguments like this and more.
Donate to our
Yes.
Patreon. You can get this every day.
All right,
Oh
that's
my
it.
God.
We don't have a Patreon.
Matt, before
don't
you
have a
murder each
Patreon.
other, say the magic words.
I do not want to murder either of you.
Oh,
I
that's so
love you
nice.
both, and I'm so glad you guys have put up with me for this long despite knowing nothing about video games. Banana and out.